Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Hope you guys had an amazing Monday. I know Mondays aren't really that, easy. And also, Tuesdays are, kind of up there next to Mondays, the days of the week that you do not want to happen, that you kind of constantly click your snooze alarm in the morning. You don't want to hear about them. You don't want to think about them. You don't want to think about thinking about them. No, I'm just kidding. Right? It's kind of, stuff that you got to do. You got to go to work. Got to be an adult, a fully functional adult. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Today on tap, we have our WWE Monday Night Raw review. We also have our WWE NXT preview tonight. Following that, we're going to have our AEW Forbidden Door 0 hour review. I kind of split it into two because there was just a whole bunch of stuff that happened in AEW on Sunday. And then our fourth segment, we're going to talk about AEW Forbidden Door, the main card. We're going to review that. And last but definitely not least, every Tuesday, you jump into a time machine, you jump into a DeLorean with your favorite wrestling host in the whole entire world, your boy Eric Rodriguez of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. I grab you, you're my Marty McFly. I'm Doc Brown. I put on my glasses. I'm like, 88 miles per hour. I'm just kidding. No, but that would be badass. That'd be pretty cool to have a time machine. I'm going to take you back in time in the world of wrestling on this date of July 2nd. Back in time. Well, without further ado, we're going to jump on into it. But before we do that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Should be your questions, comments, concern. Remember to Superman punch the like and subscribe button. As always, follow the show, follow the network, follow me, your boy E here. For cool wrestling facts, for cool wrestling rumors, action that happens inside and outside of the ring, just your backstage pass, your behind the curtain, so to speak, kind of journey. Take it with your boy E here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time at GSMC Sports Network. We are the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. So remember to hit up that link. Hit it up. Don't be too shy. There's no such thing as a wrong chat. There's no, absolutely love hearing opinions. Give me a shout out where you're, watching from. Remember the GSMC podcast.net is your link. Make sure you hit that up. So without further ado, let's jump on into our first segment. We're going to jump on into our WWE Monday Night Review, and it was a doozy. It was a pretty hard doozy, to be honest. It was a great show. Honestly, I feel like after Triple H kind of took over creative, sorry, creative actions, creative responsibilities for WWE. I feel like they've been kind of, producing some pretty awesome shows. So yeah, let's start off. We have Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso starts off with a pretty electric entrance. Obviously, you had Corey Graves come in for Pat McAfee, who's been dealing with some personal problems, and it was kind of crazy because I thought, to myself, and also, you kind of heard Michael Cole said it's like you're looking at your new Money in the Bank winner, and could possibly be it. He was outside in the ring, kind of talking himself up, but then shortly you saw, Shorty G, Chad Gable come out to kind of, he starts self-glazing himself, good for you, bro. He told Jey Uso that he's a man who abandoned his family. Ultimately, Jey automatically struck back. That struck a personal chord with him. Obviously, when he left the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, it was under different circumstances. And he said the reason why he left his family is because it was controlled by a tyrant, a total jerk, someone who likes to minimize and just belittle people, kind of like what he did with his family. And it was like, oh, like everybody was getting crazy. Even I was like, I was even like, damn, what are you going to do about it, Chad? What are you going to do about it? You're going to go home and cry? You're going to cry? I'm just kidding. No, I didn't get that crazy into it. I'm just kidding. No, maybe I did. Uh, no, and then of course, after you see the Wyatt Sicks once again come and target Chad Gable. So obviously, maybe Chad Gable plays a huge part in the storyline. To be honest with the Wyatt Sicks, I'm not really that big on it. Especially, I kind of anticipated them to kind of make more of a statement. Maybe going after like Cody Rhodes or but coincidentally, Jey Uso was out there as well. So there's not really any clear evidence to show that the Wyatt Six only want to go after Chad Gable. Obviously, you did see him ever since the Wyatt Six made their debut. He was the one backstage with the bloody forehead, knocked out Cole. But you also have Jey Uso, who constantly reminded the Wyatt family that he has the Fireflies. Now he says he doesn't want him. You can have those guys back. Those guys are creepy as hell. He just wanted to support his boy Bray Wyatt. So I don't know. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see what kind of moves forward, from that. Once again, you kind of have Nikki Cross leave another package for Michael Cole. It was another video cassette tape that the WWE creative had to play in the trailer. They had to find the VHS tape. Obviously, I don't know who uses the VHSs anymore, but I remember when VHSs was very prominent, especially when I was growing up with Hollywood Video. I had Superstar Video. You also had Blockbuster. And it was like be kind and rewind. Definitely remember that. Kind of aging myself here. Kind of want to move on. Uh, next, we see Xavier Woods against Karrion Kross. Xavier Woods was able to pick up the victory, which kind of shocked me a little bit with the inside cradle. If Karrion Kross was to successfully steer Xavier Woods away from the New Day, I think he did a pretty bad job of it on Monday Night Raw. They went out there and they absolutely killed Kofi Kingston, injured his elbow. So now there's Big E, also Kofi, who's probably going to be on the shelf for a couple of weeks. I can see Kofi being gone for a couple of weeks, forcing Xavier Woods to plunge into that singles competition. And then there, you're going to have Karrion Kross constantly on him being like, look, you have more potential. Do you want to be Marty Jannetty or do you want to be the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels? And obviously, that's kind of not how you can relate to it. There's no really any correlation between the New Day and the Rockers back in the day, because I feel like the New Day, all three members have had their own personal successes. Xavier Woods is the only one who have not won a singles competition belt. Obviously, he was King Woods. He is a former WWE King of the Ring, so that accolade cannot be ignored. Definitely something in the future that WWE should address, especially Kofi Kingston. Be like, dude, come on, man. Why do you want to establish so much single success where dude, you're King Woods, man. You're King Woods, and of course, like if Xavier Woods wants to move on from the group, I feel like ultimately within storyline, you should just be like, Kofi Kingston's like, dude, I'm going to support you. Kind of like what Xavier Woods did with his the WWE title reign. But there's honestly, I don't think there's no need to kind of break up the crew here. But I think WWE did a pretty good job to kind of keep us on the edge of the seats, always thinking that maybe aspect of it. Next we have we had Rhea Ripley is not good. Rhea Ripley has recently spoken to Damien Priest, Finn Balor, says the real issue, Damien, is you. And then Damien Priest took back what he said as a promo. He said he did not need the Judgment Day. He said we ultimately kind of need each other, which is kind of true. You have not seen Damien Priest successfully defend his title or win any match ever since he kind of dubbed that, El Campeon, the leader of the Judgment Day. So there's still obviously a lot of gray areas that he needs to kind of, continue to win the matches. Like I said before, like the way he was kind of booed last week on Monday Night Raw kind of left it a little skepticism that I was like, okay, I saw him as a babyface in the creation, but the way that the crowd's kind of rejecting him right now, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, like, if he presumes that babyface role. You're going to have to for Damian Priest ultimately to successfully jump into that role. You're going to need Seth Rollins kind of off the table there, kind of nowhere to be seen in terms of Damian Priest. Also, you're going to have Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Dominic Mysterio have some sort of a personal Judgment Day. Damian Priest finds himself, he does not want to be part of the Judgment Day anymore, finds himself into maybe like a singles, into a singles role. Not that I'm saying he's not already in that role, but more of like, kind of like a lone wolf. Kind of, you don't really need your wolf pack anymore. So, kind of crazy. A lot of stuff blowing up. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest ultimately probably is in the horizon. In the horizon. But I don't know. Only time will tell. Next, we see Selena Vega. Selena Vega against Liv Morgan. This match didn't go as I thought. Didn't go as planned. I honestly did not like the match. Obviously, you saw Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio kind of jump into the corners of Liv Morgan and also Selena Vega. I thought it was kind of poorly kind of designed here. And like I always constantly saying, I'm not saying that I'm like the huge Liv Morgan kind of hater, but I feel like every single match she's kind of fought, even before the WWE World Heavyweight Women's Championship, kind of title bout between her and Rhea Ripley, there was always something. There was always something. Never really a clean wrestling match. You never see Liv Morgan win any clear wrestling matches, which kind of sucks because she does have potential. She does have she does have the eye of the WWE universe right now. Obviously, not for her wrestling abilities, the way she mounts Dom and stuff like that was kind of crazy. But I don't know. Should be more independent. I think if you're trying to push Liv Morgan, especially if she's not going to just be that transitional champion to lose against Rhea Ripley the moment she comes back, you got to start establishing some singles success from here on out. Next we have the same card. It's Oblivion. We also have Seth Rollins was he was addressing the WWE universe. You saw Finn Balor come out. And Finn Balor was talking to the Judgment Day's Finn Balor, saying that he only has 1 week on the same side as Damien Priest. Damien Priest says that he does not need the help of Finn Balor. It winds up, that Finn Balor claims that ever since Damien Priest won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, he's not been the same. He's changed, and yeah, kind of crazy. So next we have the triple threat match for the last spot in the women's Money in the Bank match. We have Dakota Kai against Ivy Nile and Zoey Stark. Surprisingly, I liked it. I like the fact that Zoey Stark is going to be in her second Money in the Bank match. Not really anything, surprising coming from this kind of aspect of it. She's strong. She can definitely hold a singles title, but should be pretty interesting. Then you saw the tag champs attack, Kairi Sane, kind of hinting at maybe, like a damage control match between Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane against, the reigning WWE Women's World Champion. And then then in the moving on, we have the Wyatt family VHS once again. You see Bo Dallas once again being interviewed by Uncle Howdy. At this point in time, at this certain interview and during this promo, you kind of fully see Bo Dallas become Uncle Howdy. A lot of people wondered why, how is Bo Dallas even Uncle Howdy? But indeed he is. He's to bring the reckoning. He's the one that wants to be in charge of the charge. You've seen a lot of pretenders around here. And it's should be interesting to find out what the Wyatt Sicks decides to do. I could see like a push probably after no, I don't want to say after SummerSlam. Maybe a little bit before SummerSlam. There has to be some kind of success. There has to be some kind of domination factor to it right now. Braun Strowman was not seen on WWE Monday Night Raw. Maybe he could be the sixth member of the Wyatt Six. Would be very impactful, very essential for the success of the group having the former WWE champion on their side. All right, so then you, like I said before, you saw Chad Gable reach out. Otis didn't want any part of it. Otis looked at the end of the promo like he maybe wanted to give Chad Gable another chance. Maxine Dupree and Tozawa obviously highly behind Otis. Um, I would like to maybe see. I think maybe Chad Gable kind of lures them into like an attack or the Wyatt Six. Maybe he reveals himself as the sixth member of the Wyatt Six. I don't know. That's obviously a huge, pretending, aspect of it. But that would be pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So Rey versus Dominic Mysterio. This match was basically what you guys all thought it was going to end with, someone interfering. Obviously, since Dom kind of needs, Tommy John surgery, you saw him control the match mostly, kept it pretty slow. Liv Morgan saved Dominic Mysterio from the 619. Then you had Selena Vega intervene, where Mysterio is 3-0 against his son, which is pretty darn cool. And then also something to watch for Monday Night Raw. You have Braun Breaker once again, going crazy, attacking his foe at Money in the Bank, the WWE Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. Lastly, in the main event, you saw Drew McIntyre defeat Ilya Dragunov and Sheamus to secure that last spot for the men's Money in the Bank. So, a lot of stuff happened on WWE Monday Night Raw. Make sure you check out some highlights. If not, you can always count on me to give you all the odds and ends, all the facts, all the rumors, and also just talking some good old-fashioned wrestling. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about our WWE NXT preview. So grab your favorite drink, your favorite snack, and join me, your boy E here, with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Monday Night Raw preview, so make sure you check out that video on YouTube on the GSMC Sports and Podcasting Network. Now we're going to jump on into WWE NXT. Obviously, you have WWE NXT heading toward their Heat Wave pay-per-view going on Sunday. So there's going to be this is the last episode, so you can expect like a lot of storyline twists, maybe perhaps, a promo that you maybe they might put another match on the board, not too sure. Maybe to happen in the pre-show. Usually WWE kind of does that. But before we move on, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Hit up that link. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you want to see on Heatwave. Tell me what you liked about WWE Monday Night Raw. Once again, we get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I beg you guys to use the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot your questions, comments, concerns. And it's going to be, best thing about wrestling is getting feedback, getting different perspectives of the WWE universe. Also, obviously the WWE fans, and this show's a hell of a lot better with a lot of audience engagement. So at this point, there's no wrong chats, there's no wrong answers. Everything's gravy, baby. Everything's gravy. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So remember to always like and subscribe to the show. Follow us on the GSMC Sports Network, also the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. So, like I said before, it really does help the show, guys. And hit up that GSMCpodcast.net. All right, so let's jump on into our second segment, WWE NXT preview. Let's do it. So we have Carly Bright. Carly Bright recently has been, her match was costed because of the returning, a little dark, a little cynical Wendy Chu. She cost Bright her match against Fallon Henry last week on WWE NXT. So a lot of, just a lot of hidden animosity. I feel like it's kind of crazy how you kind of have Wendy Chu, who's kind of took in this dark role, and then you have Carly Bright. You kind of see the light against the dark, so to speak, in this David versus Goliath kind of story. Because I feel like Wendy Chu, she just seems so powerful right now. I feel like maybe she has some kind of, maybe she has the spirits on her side. I'm just kidding. I don't, I'm not, kind of, I'm not really into that, kind of stuff. But it could happen. I mean, if you bank on anything for your success, obviously to each your own, whatever you guys want, but that's not this kind of podcast. We talk about wrestling. And I think Wendy Chu, she's I think Carly Bright, ever since she kind of debuted in WWE NXT, I think she's kind of been hidden under the radar a little bit. I think she pulls out the victory against Wendy Chu tonight. If you disagree with me on that, hit up chat and be like, Eric, you're crazy, man. You're high off life, bro. And I'll be like, yeah, I am. Like, of course. But moving on, we have Gallus against Tyson DuPont and also Tyreek Igwe. Should be pretty interesting. I think this is going to be a pretty good tag match. You've kind of seen Gallus. They made such a huge impact debuting in NXT. And then recently, you've kind of seen Joe Kofi lose his chance to fight against, Trick Williams. Also lose his chance to fight Oba Femi. It's like they started so hot. They started so hot, started with such a bang. Turns out that bang was just a small piece of dynamite. I'm just kidding. No, but not a lot of good stuff. Not a lot of good stuff from the Gallus family. Hopefully they get on track because they seem like ever since they kind of debuted, they've kind of been the ultimate like kind of heels. But ever since you have the all ego Ethan Page, Sean Spears, you also have Javon Evans and Trick Williams kind of stealing the spotlight here. And then like a lot of people still really don't understand what's happening with the Brooks Jensen. That storyline could also shed a lot of light tonight. Maybe he makes another appearance. Who knows? Who knows? Next, we see the New Catch Republic. New Catch Republic is another tag team, another group of superstars that have been absolutely on a tear. They did do such a good job on the gauntlet match, but kind of came up short. You have Hank Walker and also Tank Ledger, who wants to find out what they're all about, who wants to challenge Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne to see obviously sharpen iron sharpens iron. If you want to eventually be one of the best wrestlers, one of the best tag teams in the future of the WWE NXT, you're going to want to challenge the best. And Tyler Bates, also Pete Dunne, they do a really good job inside the ring. They cut good promos. There's no doubt in my mind that Ledger and Walker are here to kind of learn something here. So should be interesting. I see a respectful bout. I see them shaking hands at the end of the match. It's going to be awesome. But I'm probably going to bank my money on the new Catch Republic. So next we see Roxanne Perez, the WWE NXT Women's World Champion, is going to be face to face with her challenger at NXT Heatwave, Lola Vice. And to be honest, Roxanne has kind of defeated the likes of Lyra Valkyria, Tatum Paxley, has defeated Jordan Grace, the TNA Knockouts World Champion. Lola Vice, despite all those participants that I have named off, I feel like she's gonna bring the heat. She's gonna bring the heat at Heatwave. I think Lola Vice is a promising superstar heading for the future of WWE NXT. Roxanne Perez is a two-time WWE NXT World Women's Champion, has done nothing but prove her claim, has done nothing but show the world why she deserves to hold that title. Especially after, NXT Stand and Deliver. So, throwing flowers to Roxanne Perez, but should not take Lola Vice lightly because she's a dog, man. She's a dog. She's, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Got that from my boy Maxwell, Jacob Freeman, MJF. No, I heard it on Dynamite. I thought it was pretty cool. Next, we see Mi Chin. Mi Chin is going to fight against Jada Parker in a street fight. This match is going to be electric. This match is going to be pretty awesome. I always love it when the girls kind of jump into the world of hardcore wrestling in ladder matches, Hell in a Cells, tables matches. I think it's I love that. I think it's pretty badass, very WWE Attitude Era-esque. Because Michin and Jada Parker has been at each other's throats. You've had, of course, you've had OTM now, and now the OC. They're kind of brought in to kind of fight each other now. So there's no doubt in my mind that maybe they have a tag team match tonight, or perhaps the pre-show over at WWE NXT Heatwave. Next, we have the WWE NXT Championship contract signing. We have Sean Spears, the ultimate antagonist. We have the young OG, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, and of course the WWE NXT World Heavyweight Champion Trick Williams. And this is going to be a doozy. I feel like this match is going to end up with I probably would say that it's going to end all bad. Obviously, that's kind of the promo. That's what happens during contract signings for titles during wrestling promotions. And the person usually standing on top after after the show, but the show before the pay-per-view usually kind of loses, not really. Well, maybe. I don't know. It all depends. I would say probably like 65, 45%. 65, 35%, kind of let imbalance there. I see Ethan Page standing on top. Obviously, Ethan Page defeated Sean Spears. He defeated Javon Evans and also defeated Trick Williams. Not Trick Williams. He has not defeated Trick Williams yet. But he came pretty darn close. He would have if he didn't let his ego get in the way. But that's who he is. He's all ego. So you're gonna have Ava out there, kind of dictating and mediating, the situation here for the WWE NXT World Championship. It's gonna be pretty hot. It's gonna be pretty crazy. It's gonna be pretty heated up, baby. So it should be. I don't know. It's gonna be pretty awesome. WWE NXT. It's happening right now. Can't wait to watch it. have it on record. And yeah. So next we're gonna see something to keep an eye on WWE NXT. Obviously, you had a no quarter catch crew. You had Charlie Dempsey spotted at a taping on TNA Impact Wrestling. What is next for the no quarter catch crew? I feel like it's kind of at that moment where I think they would have so much. I think they would have success in obviously TNA. I feel like Charlie Dempsey has, he's hungry for a title. He's hungry for a sense of belonging within the wrestling industry. And with this recent, cross promotional collaboration between WWE and, TNA, there's no doubt in my mind that it's not far fetched. It's not far fetched. It's not crazy. It's not bonkers to think that you see the No Quarter Catch crew permanently stay on TNA television. Now, and also something to address, we also had Izzy Dame. Izzy Dame is a prospect within the women's division of WWE NXT. So her winding up in TNA isn't really such a bad idea as well, especially that there's not really any woman right now in TNA that can kind of hold their own against Jordynne Grace. Izzy Dame's kind of like that young wild card, kind of like this, hot, fresh thing to come out of the oven of professional wrestling. So, Izzy Dame against Jordynne Grace is kind of a match that we look forward to at TNA Slammiversary. Could happen, possibly. Hopefully it does. I think that'd be pretty badass. And lastly, since you saw Izzy Dame and Charlie Dempsey break the wall, enter that forbidden door, are you going to see any TNA Impact wrestlers on WWE NXT tonight? Or maybe perhaps WWE NXT Heatwave. You saw Joe Hendry since he made his debut on WWE NXT in that in that 25-man battle royal to challenge Trick Williams. He's gotten a lot of social media attention. Got a lot of social media attention. He's gotten a lot of attention from the WWE universe as well. In the world of wrestling, he's gotten more views on his debut on NXT than Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada together. All of them put together did not match the Joe Hendry effect on WWE NXT. On NXT about, 3 weeks ago. I think it's about 3 weeks ago. So, are we going to see any TNA superstars moving forward on WWE NXT? I don't know. Would love to see that. But, only time will tell. Only time will tell. All right, guys. Well, don't go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our third segment. We're going to talk about AEW Forbidden Door 0 Hour, which is the pre-show. There was a lot of matches, a lot of information. We're going to review that. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
And welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Monday Night review, our WWE NXT preview. So make sure you check those out on the YouTube Sports Network and also the GSMC Podcasting Network. Check out videos. They're published every day. I publish about 5 segments, so check that out. Also check out some of the other podcasters as well if you're not totally into wrestling, which is, absolutely breaking, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. But yeah, make sure you check it out. A lot of good wrestling, a lot of good information in terms of sports. But without further ado, let's talk about AEW Forbidden Door 0 hour. But before we move on into that, I want to remind you guys to use the GSMC podcast.net. We get a lot of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, and for the millions of viewers, be sure to use the GSMC podcast.net link to tell me how you feel. Give me some of your opinions about professional wrestling. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. And yeah, we can all relate. We can all correlate. We can all, kind of bond on this thing, the art, the passion of professional wrestling. So yeah, let's do that. So don't be too shy to tell me how you feel, and tell me what you don't like. All right, so we're gonna jump on into AEW's Forbidden Door, the 0 hour review. So first and foremost, this is an annual promotion of AEW Forbidden Door, where you see the world of New Japan Professional Wrestling and All Elite Wrestling kind of become one to battle it out on the main stage of Forbidden Door. Pretty badass. It was at the it was at the UBS Arena in Long Island, New York. And yeah, we're gonna start off with the Ring of Honor World Television Champion Kyle Fletcher in a squash match against Serpentico. I thought this match was kind of stupid, to be honest. Why are you putting the Ring of Honor Television Champion against Serpentico? It's kind of like a squash match that was highly unnecessary. I don't believe that Kyle Fletcher, although he did lose his chance of winning the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship against, Mark Briscoe at Ring of Honor Club 70, I think it was 70 last Thursday. Kyle Fletcher is still one of the hottest superstars in Ring of Honor, AEW, New Japan Professional Wrestling. Since 2022, as of Thursday night, he's only lost once. So, he's still a champion, definitely still has a lot of potential, going to be crazy. It's going to be interesting to kind of see what AEW decides to do with his talent. If they even, if they keep him on the, kind of on the AEW roster. At this point, after what happened at Forbidden Door, I'm like, dude, if you're going to bring him here, just to kind of perform in a squash match, I don't like to see it. I'd rather see him fighting in Ring of Honor once again, or maybe maybe jump into New Japan Professional Wrestling. But then you also have kind of like that Braun Breaker kind of mentality, where I feel like Braun Breaker definitely has not gotten the right push. Obviously, it is my own opinion, and he did recently get drafted on the WWE draft, which was about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. But no, WWE needs to have a good, formidable storyline for Braun Breaker, much like AEW. If you're going to bring Kyle Fletcher from Ring of Honor to your brand, and make sure you bring him here for a reason, dog. Make sure you bring him here for a reason. We saw Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly, once again, he lost. He teamed up with, Ishii. But, what I kind of what I kind of took from the match is two things. Three things. Kyle O'Reilly keeps losing. I don't like that. The Undisputed Kingdom, although they are the reigning, Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, I feel like, they're not really that prominent anymore. And, I'm not trying to hate on them or anything like that. Also, Roderick Strong, ever since losing the AEW World International Championship, he's just looked weak. He just looks like someone who can't wrestle anymore. Definitely someone who's aging in the worst way possible. But I still believe in Roderick Strong. I definitely think that he deserves another title run at the International Championship, which kind of makes me think, I'm like, okay, they let Will Ospreay win the championship, and hey, that's cool and all, but I don't know, it's just like something that I didn't really understand, something that I was like, okay, like obviously there could have been a lot of better stuff, but what do I know? I'm just a wrestling fan for like 20 plus years. What do I know? But anyways, it was kind of crazy. I don't want to see Colorado continue to lose, because he's like doing such a good job as a babyface. He's great inside of the ring. He can hold his own. He can definitely be the next one to challenge Will Ospreay for his AEW International Champion. Although he's going to fight Daniel Garcia on Dynamite, presented by Shark Week. I think it's what is it, Beach something like that. It's kind of crazy. But moving on. So something that I also caught, I feel like right now AEW has, you have two babyface title holders. You have Will Ospreay and you have Swerve Strickland. Okada, definitely not featured enough to kind of be even thought as a true heel. I feel like right now AEW feels like they have the elite So then they're like, okay, we have the Elite, so we're good. We don't need any more. We don't need any more big heels. We don't need anybody like, whoever's going to fight the biggest baby faces in the world of all Elite Wrestling is going to be us, the Young Bucks. Obviously, the Young Bucks, the EVPs. But to be honest, I don't see the fans jumping to it. I don't think the fans get too excited whenever they see the Elite. I don't think they get even that pissed off when they see the Elite doing, obviously things that, benefit them. But I don't know. It's something that AEW really honestly kind of needs to address before, definitely before Wembley Stadium, August 25th, All In. But I don't, only time will tell. Only time will tell. So, it's kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy. But overall, I felt like it was a really good bout. I felt like, AEW's Forbidden Door 0 Hour was pretty badass. You finally saw Willow of Nightingale get her hands on Chris Statlander, that wannabe. I'm just kidding. Then you had Stokely. Oh, Stokely's so annoying. I don't know how, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Willow Nightingale teamed up with Nakano to defeat Chris Statlander and Watanabe. I think it was a perfect fight. I thought it was a perfect feud. Keeping that ultimate babyface you had with Willow of Nightingale, the former TBS, AEW TBS champion, also the New Japan, a strong women's champion as well. Then also you have a powerful heel like Chris Statlander, who's definitely dominant, definitely knows the ring, definitely, obviously has a little bit of the inside the ropes kind of advantage over Willow of Nightingale. You kind of saw it demonstrated in this match. Willow also has the powerful factor as well. Maybe not as fast and as agile as Chris Statlander, but Willow, enthusiasm, charisma, she's killing it 1,010%. So definitely I'm happy to kind of throw flowers at my girl Willow in terms of that. So yeah. All right. So next we're going to talk about Mariah May against Saraya. This was a good match. This was an Owen Hart Cup tournament match, quarterfinals. To be honest, I feel like Saraya, ever since she left WWE, I don't know. I just don't think that she's having so much success in AEW as she kind of anticipated. Of course, she's a former AEW Women's World Champion. I'm not trying to dispute that. But I don't know. I feel like she deserves more. I feel like Mariah May is right where she is right now. It'd be kind of interesting to see if she moves on to the finals to win that match at Wembley Stadium to fight her protege, the timeless Toni Storm. I look at her like she's my mother. Didn't you guys totally make out the other night? I'm just kidding. No, but no, it was it was kind of crazy. It's crazy how AEW kind of pushes stuff like that. It's a little edgy, but it's it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. So Mariah May once again moves on to the semifinals. I believe she fights either Willow of Chris or Chris Statlander. I'm not too sure. Gonna have to double check on that. But yeah, honestly, overall AEW Forbidden Door 0 Hour, I felt like it was pretty cool. Last match you kind of had, which I was kind of surprised this was the finale, kind of the main event of 0 Hour. You had the Lucha Bros and Mystico defeat Tajuse Takahashi and also Titan. For kind of like for a pre-show, you saw a lot of matches. Obviously, they kind of do this. AEW does this to keep the audience and also wrestling fans engaged. But I don't think it's bad. They've got. I saw online they kind of gotten a lot of critique about having a lot of set matches and stuff like that. But I liked it. I feel like WWE can learn a lot by letting some of these by having a full match card. You have not on every WWE pay-per-view you don't get a full match card, which is kind of lame. All right, guys. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our fourth segment. We're going to talk about the Forbidden Door main card. We're going to review that. Bunch of title matches, a bunch of, matches and stipulations. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about, we had our WWE Monday Night Raw review, we had our WWE NXT preview, and we talked about AEW Forbidden Door 0 Hour. So let's jump on into our fourth segment, AEW Forbidden Door review. We're going to talk about the main card, talk about all the wrestling, all the action that took place. So yeah, let's get on into it. All right, so let's do this. So we're going to start off with MJF, this is his first match since returning to AEW from injury. Obviously, after the speculations that he might have signed a contract with WWE or another wrestling promotion. But, obviously you saw at Double or Nothing, MJF come out and have the tattoo of AEW forever, which was actually, kind of, I thought that was pretty cool. That was a good segment. But, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, definitely one of the best wrestlers. Definitely good that he's back on the AEW roster. They definitely needed that little flair. MJF, he pairs really well with basically any superstar. He plays that kind of Triple H, that Randy Orton, that maybe like a young Shawn Michaels kind of role where if you like him, you like him. If you don't, he doesn't care. He's going to go out there. He's going to get his own. He's going to say what he needs to say. He's going to say what he feels like he needs to say. But, definitely, this match was really, really kind of well thought out. Hechicero did really, really well. Kind of like a low-key, really awesome performance by Hechicero. Obviously, he's a bigger guy, but he's very agile. He also has stamina of the yin-yang. He's also a submission wizard. A couple of times during the match, you saw MJF struggling a little bit. I feel like in the whole entirety of the match, I felt like Hechicero kind of had most of the control here. But overall, you saw MJF, come back, kick ass, and is able to prove why he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. So, Maxwell Jacob Friedman still killing it. Forever will kill it. But, I feel like we're lucky to watch it. All right, next match, we have a trios match. We have the Elite against the Acclaimed and Tanahashi. This match kind of went the way I was ultimately thinking it was going to go. This was kind of like a way for the Elite to kind of show that, we're still in charge. We're still in charge here. It doesn't matter if you're from New Japan Professional Wrestling, the EVPs, Okada, the Rainmaker, also the scapegoat Jack Perry still run stuff around here. They defeated the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed recently beat the Young Bucks in a proving ground match, but I thought that match was actually going to be tonight for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, but I don't know, it was kind of crazy. You saw Okada. Okada was once the face of New Japan Professional Wrestling, but before then, Okada dethroned Hiroshi Tanahashi. Once again, Okada again proves why the Elite. I feel like the Elite's always on his back. I feel like he carries the Elite often. Obviously, you kind of saw it in the match with the Anarchy in the Arena where he probably broke up a total of like 10 covers. Like, it was crazy. I'm not even exaggerating. Oh, maybe a little. But no, that's how important, that's how much of a factor he plays within this faction of the Elite. And honestly, out of all of them, ever since he beat Eddie Kingston for the AEW Continental Championship, he's been nothing but money. But I anticipate him at Wembley Stadium to fight a worthy competitor. Should be interesting to see who AEW decides to kind of put him up against. But overall, Okada's probably the MVP of the Elite. You saw obviously the Elite defeated the Acclaimed and Tanahashi, but during the match, you kind of heard like a CM Punk kind of chant here, which is kind of sad because. But not really sad because CM Punk really makes an impact in every wrestling promotion he dabbles his feet in. But the crowd seem like they don't really care about the storyline. They're not really into this Young Bucks Elite. And that's something that I've been kind of preaching on this show for quite some time. I feel like the Young Bucks, kind of deserve more. Right now, they're kind of in this territory, kind of this post Cody Rhodes, this post CM Punk, kind of dealio here. A lot of main wrestlers kind of left, but then you kind of Tony Khan brought in a lot of high end wrestlers like Ospreay, Monet, and also Okada. But I don't know. It's kind of surreal. I feel like the Elite could be, a little more, be a little more, edgier. But I don't know. They're just so damn predictable. Next, we have the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson's defeat Takahashi. Once again, you saw Bryan's neck injury kind of coming into play. At this point, he says it's kayfabe, and so does AEW reports and stuff like that. But an inside source says that he actually does have, a huge neck, like just it's bothering him. I don't know how long it's going to take for Bryan Danielson to hang up his boots, but I feel like he's kind of paid his dues. He's a former AEW World Champion. Obviously, this was an Owen Hart quarterfinals match. The American Dragon, he might be jumping his way back into the main card, heading toward Wembley Stadium, winning this Owen Hart Cup Championship. Could happen. Could happen. All right, next we have the timeless Toni Storm retain her championship against Mina Shirakawa. Shirakawa gave Toni Storm her absolute best. She came in and they had a pretty good match. They had a really honestly one of the best matches of the whole entire pay-per-view. Toni Storm is just so gosh darn talented. It's crazy. She gave her the best, but ultimately you saw Toni Storm come out at the end of the match. Her, Mariah May, also Mina Shirakawa come in and give like a group hug and other stuff that I can't do. Check out the highlights on Dynamite, the Toni Storm match. But yeah, moving on, we get Orange Cassidy fight against Zack Sabre Jr. Zack won this match. It was a good bout. Orange Cassidy, I feel like they were trying to push him in singles competition. I kind of don't think that anymore. He's kind of been with the company since 2019. He's been around for quite some time. Maybe he feels like he's kind of in that role where he has to, kind of put over younger superstars and stuff like that. Maybe he's kind of aged. Maybe he's kind of peaked. But I like Orange. I like, obviously love that freshly squeezed, the former best friend with the Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor. But I want to see Orange do better. I thought this was gonna be a good match for Orange Cassidy to insert himself into singles competition once again, becoming a formidable competitor for the next AEW International Champion. Didn't really see that. Didn't really get that. Kind of sucked. I love Orange Cassidy. You saw Zack Sabre Jr. pick up the victory here. All right, next you have the 3-on-3 Samoa Joe Hook and Katsuyori Shibata against Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and New Japan Professional Wrestling's Jeff Cobb. This match, I was surprised. I was surprised that they gave Hook, Shibata, and also Samoa Joe the win. Right now, the learning tree is reeling. It's getting to the point where, on a scale to 1 to 10, it's like a 2.5, barely hanging on. I feel like before Wembley Stadium All In, if AEW wants to continue this learning tree, the FTW champion Chris Jericho, to keep this thing alive, there has to be something big that happens. I personally maybe think that with Jeff Cobb, the addition, he's a little ruthless. He's a little bit on the dark side, if you know what I mean, morally. But, obviously kayfabe, I'm not saying that he's a jerk in real life. I don't know if that didn't come clear. But I feel like it'd be right now probably the best time for Chris Jericho to knock this stuff off right now. Knock this shiitake mushroom stuff off of this whole, we're the learning tree. It's not working. It's not working right now. And it's getting a little ugly to see. It's getting pretty ugly to see. Chris Jericho, a legend in both AEW, WCW, and WWE. I want to see better for him. I feel like he's he is the learning tree. Yes, he's the learning tree, but he has not had any success from this faction, from this group. Big Bill, a bit washed up, but Chris Jericho just needs to go on a tear. He needs to absolutely just destroy everyone. He needs to just go on this major rampage, this major fire that where you see him jumping into that hardcore, kind of heel mode here. And they just terrorize, AEW Dynamite. Maybe they find a way to kind of, align themselves with the Elite. But, I don't know. Maybe they challenge the Elite. At this point, anything is necessary. At this point, you got to do something. AEW creative, you got to do something, man. It's not working. Next, we have the 6-man ladder match to determine the vacancy of the AEW TNT champion. You had El Phantasmo, Leo Rush, Dante Martin, Mark Briscoe, Konosuke Takeshita, and of course, the scapegoat, Jack Perry, who everybody knew that he was going to win. Kind of sucks. I did not want to see Jungle Boy go up the ladder and retrieve that title. Hated it. Looks me. So now the Elite have all the gold. They have all the gold. Kind of annoying. The only gold that they do not have is Swerve Strickland's AEW World Heavyweight Champion. But they said the wild card that they're bringing on Dynamite to fight Jeff Jarrett in the men's Owen Hart Cup quarterfinals. It's a wild card. I think it was Matthew or Nicholas Jackson said that the person that's going to be the wild card is going to bring the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to the stable. Going to be interesting to find out who it's going to be. I have a lot of speculations. It could be, Hangman Adam Page. I doubt it's Ricochet. It may be Dijak. Maybe Dijak kind of finds his way as like a big, he was spotted backstage on Dynamite. No, and on, oh my God, what did we just, sorry, on Forbidden Door. I should be like, dude, Eric, it's like right in front of your face. On Forbidden Door, so maybe Dijak finds his way into the Elite here. But Jack Perry, once again, he won. He did earn it, so I gotta throw a little flowers his way. I mean, I guess if I absolutely have to. Next, you see Mercedes Moné against the New Japan Professional Wrestling Strong Women's Champion Stephanie Bakir. So Mercedes Moné, Mercedes 2 belts. I don't like it. I didn't when she beat Willow Nightingale. I wasn't a huge fan. Did not like it whatsoever. But she is our AEW TBS champion. I'm starting to warm up to her ever since she's won that championship from Willow. She's done really well in defending it. She finally accomplished her dream of becoming a New Japan Professional Wrestling Women's Strong Champion. So you got to throw flowers. You got to give credit wherever it's due. That's something my dad always taught me. But, oh man, Mercedes Moné. All of a sudden, like she comes from like not fighting a match, debuting on Big Business. And then she doesn't even touch the squared circle. She just cuts the same promo over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, she's a double champion. Like, it's crazy. But, maybe I'm thinking too much of it. Going to be interesting to see what they furthermore do with Mercedes Moné's character. All right. Also, something kind of cool to talk about. You have Britt Baker also making her debut back to AEW. So maybe she might be the one to dethrone Mercedes Moné for the AEW TBS champion. Just kind of wrapping this up real quick here. Jon Moxley made a mistake on the last show, folks. Made a mistake on my power rankings. I had Jon Moxley who defeated Tetsuya Naito, but that is untrue. Tetsuya Naito brings the New Japan Professional Wrestling IWGP Heavyweight Championship back to New Japan Professional Wrestling. My bad. I had to, go out, get some Panda Express for the Fan Bam. Kind of glanced over my Twitter and I saw Jon Moxley like in control and I was like, oh, okay, like, he won this match. Came home and watched the Swerve Strickland Will Ospreay fight and I was like, no thought whatsoever ran past my mind. It was like, hey, maybe Eric, you should double check that. But although, like, I do apologize to you guys. I'm not willing, not ready, not also, not that guy to lie to you. Apologize for Jon Moxley because I bet you a lot of Jon Moxley fans heard that and they're like, oh, that's cool. Like, he won. That's awesome. But no, he lost. The wild thing, lost the IWGP championship to Tetsuya Naito. So, got to apologize for that. Also, kind of throw some flowers at Naito. Lastly, you had Will Ospreay against Swerve Strickland. This match was a 10 out of 10, 1,010%. Swerve Strickland defeated Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay was conflicted. He did not want to use the Tiger Driver 91. You saw Don Callis get involved, handing him a screwdriver, saying, use the screwdriver, use it. Obviously, that distraction, that role play inside of your brain, plays mind tricks on you. So Will Ospreay was stuck in his own head, and Swerve Strickland, whose host, took advantage of Will Ospreay, hitting that hidden blade, hitting that swerve stomp, hitting that curtain call. I think it is. I think he calls it not the curtain call. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot where he kicks him in the back of the head. Absolutely ferocious, absolutely super cool. The match was filled with respect, and lastly, you had MJF and Daniel Garcia kind of watching from afar, mostly watching what's going to happen with Will Ospreay. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to end this show. Sorry, excuse me. We're going to end this show with my Tuesdays Today in Wrestling History, where you jump into a time machine on this day, July 2nd, going back to the early 2000s, the late 2000s. So yeah, stick with me. We're going to embark on the greatest time traveling journey in professional wrestling history. So stay tuned. All right. And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, giving all the cool stuff from professional wrestling, AEW, TNA, Major League Wrestling, AEW, also, New Japan Professional Wrestling, Ring of Honor. I try my best to dabble on every wrestling promotion that's happening, obviously, in the professional wrestling industry, all the headlines and all the breaking news and stuff like that. So let's dig on into our last and final segment of Tuesday's show, our Tuesdays today in wrestling history. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's do this. All right. Back in 2000, I took the DeLorean back in 2001. Just kidding. No, I'm not going to do all that. But 2001, WWF Monday Night Raw at Tacoma Dome featured the first ever WCW match on WWF television. And you can just say it was the worst match, the most embarrassing match in WWE history. Booker T defended his WCW championship against Buff Bagwell. Even WWE.com in 2013 named it the most awkward match in the history of the company, which kind of sucks. Even the crowd was chanting boring, 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 and this match sucks. This match sucks. It got to the point where Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin had to kind of insert themselves, where they attacked Booker T. And sadly, it's kind of crazy, but you saw Buff Bagwell. This was his first and final match with WWF and / WWE. He saw how WWE creative, how Vince McMahon and how other creative officers within the company were going to treat these WCW superstars. And he didn't have it. He wasn't part of it. He thought it was stupid. He thought that they were just kind of, setting themselves to fail, kind of put on the front lines of just being butchered by professional wrestling media, by the fans, and it just wasn't cool. Just wasn't cool. One of the most awkward matches in the world of professional wrestling was on WWE Monday Night Raw. WCW holds a championship match. Booker T defends his WCW World Heavyweight Championship against Buff Bagwell. It sucks because Buff Bagwell was really cool in WCW. Also, so was Booker T. Booker T, the reason why he gets so much credit, the reason why he's in my opinion, one of the best WWE wrestlers of all time. He's in my top 10. He's in my top 10 mostly because you saw a lot of WCW superstars did not want any part of the WWF at first, like Goldberg. Goldberg saw it. He was like, oh, hell no. Yeah, Diamond Dallas Page, who saw how WCW superstars were treating. He's like, you know what? Hell no. But eventually he came and he was booked in a really awesome role where he was the stalker, the Undertaker's wife. Great glory. Great glory. Thank you, WWE. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. And thirdly, also Sting. Sting saw the way WCW superstars were featured on WWF television, and he was like, nah, I don't want to be part of that. I'd rather be part of a growing company like TNA instead of just embarrass myself. This was one of the most embarrassing moments on WWF, and it was kind of at the expense of WCW, the rising star Buff Bagwell and their champion. On the final episode of Monday Night Nitro, you saw Booker T defeat Scott Steiner. No, not Scott Steiner. No, I think it was DDP. Don't quote me on that. But you saw him winning the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, and the moment they came to WWE, it became an absolute joke, and it was crazy. Like I said, that's why I credit Booker T being one of the best wrestlers, my top 10, because he kind of withstand all the BS, with all the hazing, with all the bullying, and he made himself a champion. He eventually became the World Heavyweight Champion, grabbing that belt. He was King Booker. Now he's a Hall of Famer with the Harlem Heat. Yeah, I think he was a 2-time Hall of Famer. Now he does commentary with WWE NXT with Vic Joseph every Tuesday night on USA Network. So, definitely got to credit Booker T. All right, so moving on. Now we're going to jump on in. No, that's not. Okay. Now we're going to jump on into 2002. WWE SmackDown takes place in Boston, Massachusetts. Edge teams up with the immortal Hulk Hogan and defeats Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo to win the WWE Tag Team titles. Something that I was not made aware of, something that kind of shocked me, was this was Hulk Hogan's first ever, winner from Tag Team titles. He won it with Edge, kind of like in one of those weird spots, but I guess it adds to his accolades. I guess it all works out. It's kind of, I thought the Mega Powers won one. I had to Google it. And I was like, dude, no way. No way. Or maybe when the NWO made it back to the WWE. Or when they debuted in the WWE. But no, he never won a tag team title. His one and only WWE tag team title run is with the Rated R Superstar, the WWE Hall of Famer Edge Adam Copeland. So I thought that was kind of interesting, kind of cool. Definitely, pretty edgy, pretty badass. In 2007, Umaga defeats Santino Marella to win his second WWE, I think it was his second WWE Intercontinental Championship in, Dallas, Texas. Umaga was Umaga. Umaga was an absolute beast. The reason why he does not have a lot of other accolades and accomplishments is this guy was kind of too dominant in what he did. Kind of like what you saw, when The Fiend became the WWE Universal Champion. Is that you kind of want to build on the idea that these guys are going to go undefeated, they're going to get killed. So the point where it gets to it gets too kind of too choreographed, too scripted in the eyes of the WWE universe. Obviously Umaga within himself is a legend. Is a legend, kind of walking that fine line there. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't know. I just feel like Santino Marella, when he defeated somebody with the help of Batista. I can't really, I'm gonna research that and check on it later. But I remember when Santino Marella made it to the WWE, came in from the crowd. He didn't he break the Lashley lock? I don't know. Could be crazy. Umaga, one of the most dominant superstars in wrestling history. Didn't lose much, but when he did, it was epic. But 2007, you had Umaga winning the WWE Intercontinental Championship. All right, in 2017, day 2 of the New Japan Professional Wrestling's G1 in the United States. It was held in Long Beach, California. Kenny Omega defeated Tomohiro Ishii to become the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, which is kind of crazy. I love the way Kenny Omega looks in that, kind of that picture right there. Kind of sad to, it's kind of crazy because throughout the, my professional wrestling, knowledge and stuff like that, I've been mostly a WWE fan. I cannot lie. Then you hear about these guys like the Young Bucks. You kind of hear Hangman Adam Page. You hear Cody Rhodes in the later years. You also hear Kenny Omega. And you're like, man, these guys are badass. And like now I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to start watching AEW to watch Kenny Omega, watching him for a little bit but of course, injuries have to happen. I don't think he's going to be fighting in the ring anytime soon for like 6 to 7 months. Could damn near be near Christmas or next time AEW Dynasty next year. But I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Obviously love Kenny Omega, one of the most successful superstars in professional wrestling history. In 2017, you had the GFW Slammiversary 15 held at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. You had D'Angelo Williams team out with Moose to defeat Eli Drake and Chris Adonis. In a strap match, you saw EC3 defeat James Storm. In a full mayhem match, you saw Eddie and Alicia Edwards defeat Davey Richards and Angelina Love. The GF Women's Champion, Sienna, defeated the Knockouts Women's Champion, Rosemary, to unify the titles. The GFW Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, Alberto Del Rio, Alberto El Patron, defeat the Impact Champion Bobby Lashley to unify those championships. Totally awesome. Definitely former WWE guys. The moment I found out these guys were gone, I was a little bummed out. Saw that they had success within TNA. Also the GFW. Obviously that once when TNA kind of went under, they kind of had to once again partner themselves up with another wrestling promotion. Ultimately worked out. You had these two guys that still have a lot of juice left in him. Bobby Lashley recently is injured and he is off the WWE main roster. He's on the inactive /injured list. But I want to see more from Bobby. I think Bobby Lashley has one more world title run left inside him right now. Obviously, the leader of the Pride. He was the leader of the Hurt Business, but that didn't really go as well. Kind of sucks. Felt bad for Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP and stuff like that. But it is what it is. That's the wrestling game. Kind of sucks, but I want to see Bobby Lashley do more. I feel like Bobby Lashley deserves a lot. And imagine if you see Alberto El Patron debut on WWE NXT, the world would go absolutely nuts. It'd be pretty badass. It'd be pretty crazy. So yeah, honestly, should be kind of interesting that these two fight against each other on this day back in 2017. All right, and lastly, it's kind of crazy how that sounds like. Back in 2020, the night 2 of the AEW Dynamite Fighter Fest at Daly's Palace in Jacksonville, Florida. You had Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page defeat Private Party to retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. You had Lance Archer defeat Joe Janela. You also had the Butcher, the Blade, and the Lucha Brothers defeat FTR and the Young Bucks. And you had Colt Cabana and the Dark Order defeat SoCal Uncensored, the team of Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, also Scorpio Sky. And lastly, in the main event, you saw Chris Jericho defeat freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. So it's kind of crazy how you jump back into time. Definitely jump back into the history, especially on this day of July 2nd not of 2024, just July 2nd, just in general. So yeah. Well, guys, hope you guys enjoyed my show. I'm going to be back tomorrow, same exact time, so make sure you don't miss it. 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Always talking professional wrestling, always digging into the tea and stuff like that. Definitely love seeing you guys every single one. Make sure you hit up the chat, the GSMC Sports Network. So, be part of the show. You guys are a big part of the show. This show is nothing without you. So 1,010% sending my blessings to you guys. Hope you guys have an amazing midweek. It is only Tuesday, and tomorrow is Wednesday. It's hump day. Don't think like that. I'm just kidding. Hump day. We're getting over that hump. Then you go down to Thursday and Friday. 4th of July is happening on Thursday. I don't know if whoever has the 4th of July off and the 5th of July off, lucky you. I do not have it off. I have to work. It sucks. But, it's, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us. So please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also follow the network. Also follow the show. And leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. 1,010% all the way. Absolutely. And it really does make a difference, guys. We also invite you guys to follow us on Twitter/X, it's TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram for more content and updates. And if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, it's impossible. I'm just kidding. No, it's never impossible. Never give up. But anyways, we have my boy Nelson with basketball podcast, TJ and Jeremy with sports by on the GSMC Sports Network. We have Garrison who does golf Tuesday, Thursday, hockey Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We also have my boy Sam on baseball. I was actually a guest. I was an honored guest. I did such a good job talking about Shohei Ohtani and stuff like that. Football's right around the corner, guys. Football is right around the corner. If you are a diehard football fan, you need to watch this podcast, the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast with my boy Manny, and the GSMC Football Podcast with my boy Kenny. We also have the Andrew Tate Show if you just want to, dabble in the world of sports entertainment, also pop culture, also just, entertainment industry all around. Make sure you check into that. We have Samantha with Women's Hoops and Heels Sports Podcast, your one-stop shop for women's sports. Make sure you check that out. 1,010%. We'll have my boy Tommy talking about college football. College football also right around the corner, guys. Don't miss any of the action of your favorite sports here on the GSMC Podcasting Network, the GSMC Sports Network. Be a part of this GSMC Sports bloodline of passionate sports fans, willing and just so happy, pleasurable to give you guys all the cool facts, all the hot news, and, basically stuff that you guys want to hear. It's not like Fox Sports. It's not like ESPN where you have to charge absolutely free, 110%. So be a part of this GSMC Sports bloodline. Well, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday night. I'm going to go watch NXT. Can't wait to watch. It's going to be pretty awesome, man. Hey, stay beautiful.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work.